Ka showroom kali bathmai jangka Tata Motors Keladon hage jylla mynta. Wan shaka Frank Motors like Gorngi Shillong.
Umenti rangba ke jylla konrad ki sangmau loong bagi kam penya khalai ki dei ke bladon lupa hagani ke jylla mynta la apsan snem bat ka Sorkar mynta kala kre bagan chim mi ki sinjam ban thau no wanrah no sundon ringkat bat ki kyndon haga jinge kren bat ki lal pathai Khubor mynta ke sing balang jong teo konrad ulaong ba wat hadin ba ki ladon hendrei bro shikata om shim ladon pat ki kyndon ni ki an ki kanun ban la ban te la kamiki dakum ta usngo baga por keladon kam pan penyat bet penyat renti no iki krang bagan jylla kan la bagan yo bagan lum tikna yala ka khajna haba pha shi jing thmu bandon pasakwe ka jat kam penya khalai ne ki kasino konrad ulakren bang da ka basai bakum ka Sorkar ka don kam ban penmi yeki lat ban yo ban lum yeki khajna khnang ban la ban penmi pisa kabadon kam bansi ya kutulop jongki babun kinong trai haki kam Sorkar handai khnang bakum kini ki kam kanum don jingta ne ban penbrai ne ban pengop yaki babun ki khon samna ne wat yaki brio ka jingsha jong ka Sorkar ban seng yakum kini ki yeng penya khalai kam dei pat ban palat na ki than ni ki bentai bakham hajan ba ka sorba Guwahati kum ka khana para ne bernihat namar hakum kini ki jaka kayo ban penya khalai ru kan long ka batnem bha balakmi lenti ba ka jing yo lumi ka khajna ru kan long ka bajur lai na kani konrad ulong ba ka Sorkar kam chim ladon jing thmu ba kan pendu ye ki kam penya khalai ke ladon lupa ne khre ru ban wanrah ne ban penrung thmai ha ki we pat ki sorba ka jylla kam phe la daga de ka tura ka Shillong pat ha ki we
that different forms of gaming online gaming, offline gaming have been taking place in the state for the past 20-25 years. If you go to different locations within Shillong, if you go to different locations in other towns, there are different kind of gaming parlors that are functioning even today. There are no rules to regulate them. They've never been. And obviously when that happens, then technically it's not a legalized system of functioning. So the objective of the government, while we worked towards bringing a law, was number one to ensure that these gaming parlors and any of these gaming activities that are already happening, it's not yesterday or today or tomorrow they're going to start, they're already there, running for the last 20-25 years, but there was no regulation to regulate them. So therefore, there is a need to regulate them, obviously, otherwise technically they'll be illegal. There's a need to regulate them also because there are certain forms of taxes and revenue that the state can earn. So therefore, it started with that objective. Now coming to any kind of aspect of a casino or any kind of aspect of future expansion in that line, let me be very, very clear that yes, the government needs revenue source and revenue is important. We need so many aspects of the social sector which we need to fund. So much of revenue is required for different needs of government employees, teachers, all these things. So revenue is required. But while we look at revenue, how do we ensure that the social fabric of the state and the youth especially are not impacted? So to minimize these aspects in the future, if there is any kind of a move in that line, we are very clear that it will not be anywhere pre or before Bernihat area. We are looking at an area that is going to be beyond Bernihat, in Khanapara and in that area that is bordering Guwahati. Because to be very frank, that's where the market also will be much bigger. So therefore, if we do move in the future, there is no question of any kind of such activity, new activities that is. As I said, there were already existing ones for the last 25 years. These are gaming parlors. Those need to be regulated. But beyond that, there's no question of bringing in any kind of casinos or changing the structure of, say, Shillong or Tura or any of the towns, nothing like that. But to take advantage of the entire situation, if we do work in that line, then it will be somewhere that will be closer to the Guwahati border, and we're looking at trying to capture the market in that line. That's number one. So therefore, geographically, we will be completely, I should say, quarantined. There's a very word that we are all familiar with. So it will be quarantined from all these activities, and it will be mostly in that line. Number two, that it is very clear that it will be location which Deputy CM has already mentioned, where locals will not be allowed. And we are very clear on our fact that very strong regulations will be put to ensure that locals don't come in. And if they do, then it will also lead to the licenses being cancelled by the operators. So that kind of a thing, where proper monitoring and IT systems will be kept to ensure that monitoring of each single individual, CCTV cameras. So I don't want to go into details of that because that's a talk of the future. We have not reached that stage yet. But I just wanted to give a sense of assurance to all the people that while we try to raise the GST revenue and the state revenue overall, and try to take opportunity to increase this, we want to also ensure that we are buffering ourselves from this and not affecting the city as such. So therefore, none of these activities will be anywhere this side. Even if we move forward, it will be all in the border area. It will be all post the Banihar Bridge or post Jorabad Khanapara area. That line, because we feel that that's where the opportunity will lie. And number two, most important, as I said, very strong measures will be adopted to ensure that locals are not allowed to participate or play in this. But as I said, all these aspects are only preliminary. We are right now first looking at regularizing and not legalizing, but regularizing, I should say, the existing. Please don't misquote me on this. This is very important, so don't mix my words. Be very clear that there are existing gaming parlors that have been functioning for the past 25 years in Shillong and other locations. They have been functioning without proper regulation. There was one regulation that came out in the 90s for certain areas in Police Bazaar area under the Home Department. But then after that, mushrooming gaming parlors came out in different parts of the state. Hence, it required a special law to be put in, and therefore this law will only allow that those places will be regulated and they will pay taxes as per the law. But beyond that, there's no question of expanding the different kind of activities into larger, say, casino bases and all those things. Nowhere in Shillong, nowhere in the rest of the state. But if we do move forward, it will be somewhere in the borderline, which will be completely away, and technical will be the sections that are next to Guwahati.